disconnect here, and it's not flowing the way it should. I don't want to be this person. He has literally no true north at all. Hey guys, it's me, Daily. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry if I'm a little quiet. Everyone's asleep. I'm currently in my library. Amongst all of my lovely books, I have so many books and so little time. There's no time better than the present to get on my TBR. So today we're doing my first episode of TBR Takedown. I don't know how it'll be for future episodes, but for this episode specifically, I'm going to be drawing out of my TBR jar. What we're going to do right now is draw probably like 3 titles out of the jar, and then I'll pick up whichever one I feel the most desire to read in the moment right now. Without further ado, let's get started. No cheating here. And none of these colors have any correlation, so I have no idea what these are. We'll pick 3. So this blue one, this purple one, and this yellow one. Let's start with the blue one that I picked first. What is it? Ooh, Dark Harvest. So we pulled Dark Harvest. This is by Norman Partridge. I've had this one for years, and I am really in the mood for like fall things. So this might be the perfect book, not to mention it's super short. This is taking in the 60s over Halloween, and there is this like pumpkin man. He goes by a variety of names called October Boy, Old Hacksaw Face, Sawtooth Jack. And there's a bunch of teenage boys in this town that are trying to confront this creature that kind of haunts the town. Next book, let's see. I'm actually so excited that we got Dark Harvest. What did we get? We got From Lukov with Love. This is by Mariana Zapata. This is a chunker of a romance novel. Though I'm not like a huge fan of sports romance, I did love The Wall of Winnipeg in Me, so I'm assuming I'll love this as well. Mariana Zapata writes chunky books that are slow burn and just very easy to just fall into. They're so easy to read, and so this is definitely an awesome option. And then the last one, this yellow one, let's see. It looks like it's gonna be a long one. We got the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So here it is. This one's, again, kind of a bigger one, and I've heard some kind of iffy opinions on this book. Evelyn Hardcastle is murdered at 11 p.m., and there are 8 days and 8 witnesses for you to inhabit. We will only let you escape once you tell us the name of the killer. Understood? Then let's begin. So we're kind of going through this scenario where we relived the same day that Evelyn Hardcastle died, but from different perspectives of the witnesses that were there at the time to figure out who actually murdered her. Alright, so here are the first 3 options for the video. I have these 3 to pick from for this particular round. Now, I'm immediately gonna, I think, eliminate this one. I'm just not really in the mood for romance right now. I don't know why. We're probably gonna put this one back as well. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to commit to this one yet. I'm definitely in the mood for something spookier and like more Halloween-y right now, so I think we'll go with Dark Harvest. This is only 169 pages, so if I really exerted myself, I could finish this tonight. I'm not sure if I will, but let's just get started reading. Hey, it's the next day. Excuse me for looking like this, I have church today. I thought I'd just update quickly on the book Dark Harvest before I keep getting ready for church. I'm sitting on page 63. I got to part 2 of this last night, and it's pretty good so far. Obviously, with it being such a short book, you're not going to have a ton of character development, so we're kind of just thrown into it. So this guy, he goes by many names, but mostly October Boy. So every Halloween night, everyone is expecting him. So this is a reoccurring thing, and they use it as a competition called The Run. And the goal is to kill the October Boy. When you win and you kill him, you get prizes. You don't have to pay like taxes for a whole year. You basically get a free pass for a whole year in the town. But also, you have to be careful because October Boy could kill you too. October Boy's goal, though, is to get across town to the church by midnight. And if he can do that, then he wins. Anyway, I just thought I'd update. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep getting ready for church. And so far, it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying it. Hi, I just got out of work not too long ago, so that's why I'm in my uniform. But as you saw, I finished Dark Harvest this morning, and I think I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I liked that it was quick, and that it was short and simple, and that there wasn't too much like development. It just like got right into the action. Also, it was written in, I think, second person, kind of. Every once in a while, the author would be talking to the reader in a way, and I found that really interesting. But overall, of course, it was just a short, quick little read. It didn't have much emotional pull to it or anything that I typically go for in my books. But overall, I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I finally read it. I've been wanting to read this one since I bought it, like two years ago or something like that. One book down. These are the 2 titles that I pulled from the first drawing that I didn't end up reading, so I'm going to throw them back in here. And now we're going to pick what I'm going to read next. Let's see what I'll read next. We'll do this green one. We'll do this yellow one. And this purple one. Let's start with the green one. What should I read next? This is The Colonel and the King. This is by Peter Guralnick. So I actually did meet him when I went to Graceland this past summer for Elvis Week, and it was just such an amazing experience. I'll never forget going to Graceland. If you want to see the video, it's up here in the corner. We'll go with the purple one next to see what this is. So here's Fellow Travelers. I actually bought this one probably 2-3 years ago. This is a fiction book that's taking place in the 50s, which is partially why I bought it. I love reading historical fiction, but it's also LGBTQ+, which is super great. I don't read a lot of that, so it's a really great option. I don't know. We'll see. Now the yellow one. Let's see what we got here. So obviously The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Everyone's seen this book. Everyone's read this book. Ooh, so this is actually a fantasy book following 2 magicians that work at this traveling circus that appears randomly only at night. I think the 2 magicians kind of have to go head to head to see who's the best, but I think there's some kind of love situation going on here, so it's kind of a little romance as well. But I have a feeling I'll love it, and I've had it for so long, and I've wanted to read it for so long. So here's our 3 options for this round. I think 100% I'm not going to pick The Colonel and the King, just because this is Peter Guralnick's most recent release, and I'd rather read his older ones first than the more recent one that he just worked on. Then we have these 2. If I'm being honest, I'm more drawn to this fantasy, The Night Circus, right now. Oh my gosh, I'm actually so excited. It's time. it's actually half a week, 5 days since I think I've come on here and talked. I am working my way through The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I'm actually a solid 275 pages into it. That means I'm enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I'm not getting quite 5-star feels from this, but it's up there, okay? This book is following two magicians, one named Celia, one named Marco. They have to compete with one another, and only one of them can be left standing. For as much as I'm enjoying this, not a lot has happened. There's not a lot going on, but I'm still thrilled to pick the book up every single day and read a little bit at least. It's well written and it's poetic, but it's also so easy to read and it's not too much to take in. I really like the circus. It's so unique and fun. There's just a variety of different acts at this circus, like Celia, who is an illusionist. We have a contortionist. We have a psychic. I just thought I'd come on and update. I'm not going to talk too much more. I'm probably just going to read until I go to bed tonight. I've officially completed The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I don't have too much to say other than what I believe I've already talked about. The writing is very simple, but it's also got some whimsy to it. I will say though, it took me like halfway through the book to realize how jumbled this plotline is. We're jumping from 1890 all the way to 1900, all the way back to 1896. To 1902, like we're everywhere, okay? So if you're not good with non-linear plot lines like me, this might be a little confusing. I was really enjoying it, and then when I was hitting the halfway point, I was like, god dang, like ain't nothing happening. I was expecting this book to be very grand and to be very a lot more than it was. I don't want to be this person. Oh, I really thought I'd love it. But it was so underwhelming. I think it may be in part because of the non-linear timeline we're following that it really just didn't feel real to me. Like, the romance between Marco and Celia felt so sudden and not right. Like, I didn't believe it, and it was like, what just happened? I thought it would at least be like a 4-star rated book, but I'm actually going to rate this one 3 out of 5 stars. I don't quite understand why everyone is so in love with this book if they are, but I am happy to say that I've marked it off my 26 books to read in 2026. Anyway, that means it's time to draw the third and final book for the video. Let's draw 3 out of the jar. We'll do this pink one, this green one, and this yellow one. Let's start with pink. Here we go. What does that say? The Whispering Dark. Here it is. I actually got this one when I used to be subscribed to a bunch of different book boxes. But this is The Whispering Dark. I have no idea what it's about, but it is a really pretty edition. Like, this is one of the first book box books I've ever received, and I was so happy when I got it. I'm just going to give a little brief talk about it. I'm not going to go too into it unless I pick the book. Delaney always talked to the dark, but now the dark talks back. Okay. So our main character, Delaney, is deaf. So when she's accepted into a prestigious program at God Bowl University that trains students to slip between parallel worlds, she's excited for the chance to prove herself. But her semester gets off to a rocky start when she has an awkward encounter with a pretentious upperclassman whom she has every intention of keeping her distance from. Colton Price has been ordered to keep far away from the new girl in the voices that call to her from the shadows. But the pull of her proves impossible to ignore, and he can't help but keep fascinated by her unusual talents. After a fellow student turns up dead, Delaney and Colton are forced to form a tenuous alliance, plummeting down a rabbit hole of deeply buried university secrets. They soon find themselves up against something old and nameless, an enemy that threatens to tear them and their forbidden partnership apart. Interesting! Good choice! Let's see what the green one has to offer. Catabasis. Oh my gosh. So we got Catabasis. This is by R.F. Kuang. I've never read an R.F. Kuang before, so I really don't know what to expect if I were to pick this one up. So it's about two rivals, one named Alice and one named Peter. They both have a professor named Jacob Grimes at Cambridge. That is until he dies in the magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Now Grimes is in hell, and her and Peter have to go down and get him back. But hell is not like the storybooks say. Magic isn't always the answer, and there's something in Alice and Peter's past that could forge them into the perfect allies, or lead them to their doom. So this is also a really good option. It could be my first venture into some R.F. Kuang. The last one. If this one's not something short, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which is not short at all. It's like a brick. This is not short. We got Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. This is by Susanna Clark. I recently bought this maybe a year ago, and I've been wanting to read it so badly. Hopefully it's better than The Night Circus, but this one does involve magic and magicians. There's an old magician named Mr. Norrell who believes he's the only magician left around, but then there's this new, like, young Jonathan Strange who has magic as well. This is all my 26 books to read in 2026, but I don't feel like it's very fitting for this video. So yes, these are our 3 options for the video. I'm honestly split so deeply on this one. Like, this is not an easy decision for me personally. I feel like the most wise thing to do would be to read The Whispering Dark. It's a book with the largest font, and I've had this one the longest on my shelves, but I'm not sure I'm feeling it. I am excited about this one because I've never been drawn to any of my bookish box ones. I've always put the sprayed edges out on the shelves, so I never even like consider them as options when I'm picking out of my library. So I feel like this is something that could maybe push me to read more of my book box books. Let's just get into this and see how it goes. It's currently 10 in the morning and I've been reading The Whispering Dark. I started last night, but I didn't film anything because I didn't feel like it. And I'm sitting at page 104, chapter 14. I don't know what's up with the books I've been choosing in this video, but something's missing from all of them. So in this one, we're following Delaney, who is deaf, but she has a cochlear implant, but it's still rough. Like, it's still difficult. She does receive a scholarship to go to a very prestigious school called God Bowl. While she's there, she's really struggling with her schooling, and she doesn't feel like she fits in very much. She's making friends, but she runs into someone she knows named Colton Price. However, Colton and Delaney are not supposed to be anywhere near each other. Colton's mom is like, stay away from that girl. But he's not doing that at all. This, I believe, is this author's debut. And it's not bad by any means, but the writing, it's easy to read, but it's like, it doesn't really make any sense at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. There's something about it where I'm like, there's some kind of disconnect here, and it's not flowing the way it should. I don't understand the characters. They don't really feel real to me. I don't feel like the characters are really built. I don't know if it's only because I'm 104 pages in or what, but I don't feel their emotions through the book. I don't feel like they're real. And I know they're not real. They're fictional characters, but you know, it's good that you feel for the characters that you're reading about when you're reading. I feel like, especially Colton Price, he's very wishy-washy, and I don't know if it's a choice by the author that he has literally no true north at all. Like, legit, he is so all over the place. He'll say one thing and then he'll do the complete opposite, and it's not lining up, and I don't know if that's something we'll figure out later on, or if that's genuinely like how the author wrote him. On the side though, past the main characters, there's this plot that we're following where students are turning up dead, and I'm pretty sure Delaney and Colton eventually have to figure that out, but how are they supposed to do that when for some reason they are not supposed to be anywhere near each other? I'm not liking it. I just don't think I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna keep reading until I have to shower for my dentist appointment, and hopefully I can get at least halfway through the book today. I'd love that. you saw, I just finished The Whispering Dark. Actually, last night I finished this, and I was too tired to come on and say anything about it. I was so ready to be done with this book because of how much it didn't make any sense at all. I was thinking at the end of this book, I was like, wow, I don't think I understood any of that, actually. So I went and looked at other people's reviews of the story, and a lot of people agree that this book is extremely underdeveloped in terms of world building, magic systems, and character development. And what's the worst part is that I have to admit that this is probably one of the worst books I think I've ever read. And I don't like saying that. I'm not trying to bash on this author. I didn't feel for any of the characters because they didn't feel real. They didn't come alive. The characters had no moral compass whatsoever. We're also trying to crack the code of why students from God Bowl keep dying. We never actually really figure anything out. There's no questions answered. There's no conclusion. Like, there's no wrap up. Everything is kind of just left. A lot of the chapters ended on like mini little cliffhangers to keep you going, you know? And at first I was like, okay, yeah, I'm intrigued, let's keep going. They were more so alluding to the answers, but the answers are never explained, so you still just don't know what's going on. It's like a code you have to crack, but you'll never crack it because none of it makes any sense at all. The only good thing I think I have to offer here is that I kept reading it because even though it was bad, I still had fun. Secondly, it felt spooky. It had spooky feelings, so I'll give it that. But beyond that, nothing, okay? Nothing. I'm gonna give this one a 2.5 out of 5 stars because I still did enjoy the journey even though it made no sense whatsoever. With that being said, we've completed today's video of my first episode of TBR Takedown. So as you saw, I read Dark Harvest, we read The Night Circus, and we read The Whispering Dark. So those are the 3 books I read for this video. Let me know if you've read these. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode of TBR Takedown because I want to do it again. I also have another series on my channel called Reading Books That Make Me Cry. I only have 2 parts to that so far, but I'm going to be working on a 3rd in the month of June, so there will be another episode of that coming out soon, and if you want to check out that playlist, it'll be right here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I had such a fun time with this one, and I can't wait to do it again. Thank you now to the 173 subscribers I have. Thank you to all the comments. I've gotten a few comments in the past week or so, and they've all been super kind. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week on my channel. Bye!